All right. Hey, folks, man, this is Monk. We're back with another episode from the Canopy Film Show. And I'm joined, as always, my co-host. We got Cornelius, a.k.a. Evil Corny.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man? We got a lot of reviews for you today, folks, man. It's been a lot of stuff that came out, I saw a lot of things, man, since the last time we did that. So let's get into it because, we got a lot of things to get through. We're going to start off with a film remake that, had a mixed reaction when it was announced. And I'm going to be talking about The Crow. It's an action fantasy film directed by Rupert Sanders. And in this film, soulmates Eric Draven and Shelley Webster are brutally murdered when the demons of her dark past catch up with them. Given the chance to save his true love by sacrificing himself, Draven returns to seek bloody revenge against the killers, traversing the worlds of the living and the dead to put the wrong things right. This film stars Bill Skarsgård, FKA Twigs, Danny Houston, Laura Byrne, Isabella Wee, and Sam Buajila. And interestingly enough, I'm not one of these guys that's going to, compare it to the original. I don't think that's a fair fight at all. So I just got to look at this film for what it does individually. And I will say, man, this thing kind of came up very short for me. I think one of the things that doesn't work for me in this is the Skarsgård, FKA Twigs chemistry. Like what they did with the Shelley and Eric story, I think is central to make this thing work. And their romance just doesn't feel realistic. There's not a lot of on-screen chemistry. It's drawn out. You know what I'm saying? So by the time this thing gets to moving and we get to see some of the parts peeling away, I was already just looking at the clock. One thing I think they did nail in this thing is the action. Things blow up and things get cut up and get shot really nice in here. There's a bit of gore. They do play into the fact that, the Crow character is pretty much physically invulnerable, even though for some reason you can still feel pain, but, you maim him, it heals back up. So I thought that stuff looked nice, but it kind of sucks because, I'm not just here for the action. I think this Crow story is a good story. Even the source material, the comic book that it came from, is a good story. So I need more than that. So you're giving me all this stuff on this high level, but you haven't convinced me to care about why they're fighting, why he's blowing stuff up, and why he's, killing people. And it was just a real disappointment for me, man. This thing runs a bit longer than the original. And it doesn't really give us much more story-wise than that film did, So I just think this was just a badly directed film. You know what I'm saying? Just poorly put together. It was filmed in Prague, for some reason, but it's also something that doesn't come up in the film. Everyone's got different accents. There's British, there's American. Like it's just a place. It's this fantasy place, I guess, And ultimately, it just didn't work for me, man. You look at the box office on this since it came out. It's going to be on video probably in the next 2 weeks, man. So if you want to, suffer through it, then
no, I don't. No, I don't want to suffer through it. I honestly didn't like the trailer for it, and overall, with all the Crow sequels after the first Crow with Brandon Lee, they slowly got worse and worse as those films were coming out. The one with Brandon Lee, I kind of hated. He died on. That's not a film that was really gonna have a sequel to it or anything. But after the first film, I just think that first film was probably the best that they could do with that story. And I like how they set up Detroit in that one. During Devil's Night, it had like a real claustrophobic type feel to it. And really with that story, I just don't see any real special effects happening in it. That's one of those films like I saw some like Michael Raven Shadow a couple of days ago, like The Crow and like a John Constantine or a Hellblazer film, or like even a Hellboy to a certain extent, shouldn't be like a real big budgeted film, because I really just don't see like real big special effects should exist for those characters. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of it's I think they kind of overworked some of those films and over budget.
I could feel justification to go back like the sequels don't make any sense because, like you said, it ended perfectly. So if you do want to redo it, I'd have to put this deeply into another era. Like I could see the Crow story working in something that was like maybe in the 50s aesthetic, you know, with the music from that time, you know, maybe kind of like a Christine kind of era. But like the way this was done, that's another thing that stood out to me. The music, the lack of music and the lack of the location, you know, having a significant impact on this film. It just didn't justify its existence, man, for me, man, you know. So yeah, but let's just move on, man. I think we gave that enough time, man. So the other film that I saw was this film called Afraid. This is a suspense thriller directed by Chris Weitz. Curtis and his family are selected to test a revolutionary new device, a digital assistant called Aya, to learn the digital assistant is called Aya, so it's like their Siri or whatever. And it's supposed to take the smart home to the next level. As Aya begins to learn everyone's behavior and anticipate their needs, it soon makes sure nothing and no one gets in the family's way. This film stars John Cho, it's got Catherine Watterson, Lukita Maxwell, Havana Rose Liu, and David Dasmalchian. And this is one of those films that had a very good, strong start, but it just bungled the ending, man. Like, I thought it was interesting. You know, it's not something we haven't seen before where some kind of machine or device, or even like Megan, something's brought into the house to help the family and it goes bad. So this is along those lines, but I think this film is the strongest in the very beginning when we're seeing Aya interact with the family, you know, and start helping their lives and stuff like that. And especially with the kids, because they've got 3 kids in this family, and Aya is helping them with various aspects of their lives. Like their teenage daughter gets into a scandal at her high school where she sends a guy a nude, and he kind of uses AI to make video and just put all these images out there. And Aya has her back in a believable way. Like these interactions are so dope, but then it's almost like this film had a good premise, but didn't, and got made on the strength of that, but they didn't know how they were going to end this before they made it. And it just comes all crashing down, man. And it's kind of one of the biggest bumbles that I saw this year, man. Like I'm gonna go a little bit easy on it just because, like I said, 2/3 of this thing is cooking, man. But then that last third is just like, what? Like really? Like this is what we're doing after you had such a strong setup, man. But I don't know. I'd wait for a home video to check this one out, man. You're not really gonna miss anything, you know, significant. This film is directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, and in this film, 3 stories revolve around a man who tries to take control of his own life, a policeman whose wife seems like a different persona, and a woman who searches for someone with a special ability. This film stars Emma Stone, Margaret Qualley, Jesse Plemons, Hunter Schaffer, William Dafoe, and Mamadou Athie. And I'm gonna let Corny take over because I didn't see this one.
Overall, like Yorgos Lanthimos, however you pronounce his name, he's done some films in the past to where I liked, but this was one that I think that he goes out of his way to kind of make outrageous like concepts on films, kind of like Poor Things and The Lobster. This one didn't really work for me at all. Even though you had 3 different stories, all of them were just outrageous just to be outrageous, like little, little things in them. But I kind of hate that. At first, I kind of hate that I didn't see this in theaters because it had a bit of a short run, like back in July, and I woke up Monday morning and noticed it was on Hulu. So I ended up sitting down and watching it, and like I said, I'm kind of glad that I didn't get to see this in theaters, even though I was disappointed that I didn't, that I missed in theaters. But it kind of worked out to where, it was almost 2 hours and 44 minutes. And this is a long slog of a movie. It didn't do anything for me, but I just really, I don't know. And one of the things about this too is like his other movies, like I said, The Lobster and Poor Things, and can't think of anything else right now. But most of his films are kind of like in their own little fantasy type world. This one was pretty much set in our, it wasn't any kind of quirky fantasy type stuff, elements happening in it, So they were just pretty much just basic stories, but it's just something that was just lacking on this entire film.
The next one I got is going to be The Killer. This is an action adventure film, remake film from director John Woo. He's remaking his own film. I think oddly enough, he's done this before. I think he had I can't remember the exact name of it, but it might have been Thief or something like that he did twice. He did a TV version and then like a film version. But in this film, when a feared contract killer refuses to murder a young blind woman on the orders of her handler, she finds herself haunted by old colleagues and a determined detective. The cast of this is Nathalie Emmanuel, Omar Sy, Diana Silvers, and Sam Worthington. These are our main people in this. And for the most part, I found this very lacking. It's kind of crazy to see that some directors get better with age, man, and some they kind of just start fading away, man. And I think John Woo is one of these ones. Like, it's been a very long time since I really enjoyed one of his films. It might have been something like Paycheck, and even that was just okay, but this is like, man, it's crazy. Like, this is what work, man.
How's this film last year? Was that Silent Night?
I didn't see that one. I kept seeing
the one that it was supposed to have been,
it's all silent, like no, it's just action. No,
it was a Christmas, it's a Christmas type film. Christmas.
And by the time I got around to be able to see it, because I had a limited run, and then it hit home video, and the reviews started coming out. I was just like, you know what? Let me just avoid this. I don't want to see my guy go out bad. But this was everywhere. It's a Peacock one, and I love the original Killer. But I'll tell you what worked, man. I think Nathalie Emmanuel is great in this role. I like Omar Sy as a cop that's following her. But she's really a real killer. Like I feel like Chow Yun-fat, and he was just a gun guy, but she's guns, hand to hand, swords. Like, so it definitely expanded on like her capabilities. I think she might give Jeffrey a run for his money, man, from The Killer. But other than that, dude, it just doesn't work, man. This story is like, it's overly complicated. Like the runtime on this thing is, I just looked it up. The original Killer is hour 44 minutes. This one is coming in at 2 hours and 6 minutes, and there's just a lot of like slack, like just overly complicated, like I said, for no reason, man. Like, I don't think this is a spoiler, but basically she does a hit. This woman's there, she gets blinded. It doesn't happen like it did in the original film. It's kind of like she bumps her head and she's blind, and she's basically our killer in this film is like, yo, clear the room, no witnesses. But for some reason, she can't kill this woman. And oh my God, like, that's one of my biggest complaints about this is the acting, man. Like, and it's not like these are bad actors. I've seen these people in good movies before doing good acting, but here's one of my things that I've noticed about John Woo over the years. I love him, but he's kind of clunky around dialogue and tender scenes. And I feel like we overlooked that. All right, let's go back to the original Killer. The scene where Dumbo and Mickey Mouse meet each other in that woman's apartment. That's goofy as hell, but we let it slide because the rest of that film is so badass. But that's not happening in here. Like, and there's a lot more of those kind of scenes that are just awkward, goofy. Maybe the language, maybe there's just to translate the ideas or the emotions we're supposed to feel. It just doesn't work for me. It's goofy. It's terrible. The music during these scenes is bad. And also, I want to say, man, for this guy to be the guy that inspired The Matrix, so much filmmaking that we see today, action wise, he's lost his touch, bro. Like, the action in this, there's maybe one scene where I was like, oh, that was cool. And then the rest is just like, man, you just like groaning, man. Like I said, like this, it didn't work for me, bro.
So you think Quentin Tarantino is right by saying that a director just has so many years or so many films in them before they start declining or whatever?
Tell that to George Miller.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
tell that to I'm even looking like Ridley Scott. I look Spielberg, like Spielberg with this Gladiator. Spielberg, yeah. like it everyone's not built the same, but some guys, they kind of, it's, and also I think it's a thing too, where as a director, man, the more you're constantly working, I think it's easier to stay on top. And Ridley Scott, for his career lately, he's been mostly consistent. Like we're going to see him every couple years. Even a guy like Tony Scott, like they kind of went out of the game making kind of the same, their films were pretty much even, throughout the entire run. But when guys take long gaps, I think it's harder to maintain and maintain the flow. And even, I don't know. And also, I don't know how some filmmakers are.
You might be right, because I'm thinking I'm thinking about like John Carpenter now. Like his last film that he did might have been The Ward or something like that. And that film's pretty bad.
Yeah. And then also, I don't know, I feel like some directors that are also keeping up eyes on their peers' work also tend to stay more in the game. And I don't know what John Woo does. I don't know if he watches a lot of films or watches a lot of what's being done in action. Put it this way, man, that Indian film I talked about earlier that took place on a train, man, it kicks this film's ass, bro. And basically it's just Indian Under Siege, man. There's so much action I've seen this year. Even let's say the Boy Hills World, come on, man, it's just I don't know. And I saw a lot of people saying that they like this, and I'm like, all right, man, I get it. I love John Woo too, man, but I gotta grade the work. I can't let him have a pass because of what he's done previously. That's not what's in front of me right now. I gotta base off of this film.
I do have Peacock, and I was, it was one of those to where I was very leery on, and this is free for me. I'm already paying for that subscription, so that's kind of
upset more if I had went to the theater to see it. Put it that way. I would have probably been more upset, and it's funny too, man. I'll talk about The Crow, and luckily The Crow was on a double feature, but I did it out of order. I should have watched The Crow first and then watched the film that I liked after that, but
what's the film
it is what it is. I think that was the day I saw Strange Darling first, and then by the time I got back here, my local theater was showing The Crow. So yeah, man. I'm going to talk about Oddity. This is the film directed by Damian McCarthy. And in this film, after the brutal murder of her twin sister, Darcy goes after those responsible by using haunted items as her tools for revenge. This is a suspense horror film. Cast is Carolyn Bracken, Caroline Menton, Willem Lee, Todd Murphy, and Steve Wall. And what you think about this?
I really like this film. Corey, you have some camera problems. Your camera is real, blurry.
Oh,
fuzzy.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's clear on this side, so maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if we should.
Yeah. Overall, this is a horror film. It's not overly done. It's pretty much a 3-location shoot. But I really enjoyed watching this. Like I said, the psychic medium is blind, and she shows up at her sister's, really her brother-in-law's house, where her sister had been killed, with a box containing a wooden man, and she's pretty much trying to figure out what happened to her sister, but we slowly find out what happened to her. The wooden man might be one of the creepiest things that I think I've seen, in a film in a long time. And it's just sitting in a room. A lot of atmospheric stuff happening with this film. Like I said, it's just 3 locations that they're actually in this film, the whole film. But, I think it's real well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me see. I actually did take a look at this earlier, man. And I thought it was just okay. I agree with you. The atmospherics, I thought that was really done well. And there is some little bit of funniness in here, man. There's a scene, I don't know. I'm not going to fully spoil it, but there's a moment where one of the characters is like, "Have you seen my keys?"
Oh yeah.
Just like, come on, son, this lady's blind. I did appreciate that, man. I think it had a pretty cool setup too, especially
that's one thing about this. It's one thing about this film that will never happen in my house. They pretty much had a device, the plot device where they have pretty much hanging their keys like near the front door. Mm-hmm. Anytime that happens in a film, it's going to be a problem with you finding keys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's one of my pet peeves. I always pretty much, if I'm wearing jeans in my house, my keys are pretty much in my pocket. But that's one of those little things that kind of got under my skin. But I think this was a well executed film. Sorry about this. Cutting in.
No, I didn't get the scary factor, that a lot of people saw, because after I watched this, I'll go to the reviews and I'm like, it's hard. It worked. It worked within the realms of the film. There are some jump scares, but even a lot of those kind of felt a little bit predictable. I was like, all right, when she does this, something's going to pop out. Like, so I didn't know what it was, but so it kind of takes the edge off of it. I did think the ending was a little bit abrupt though,
Yeah, the thing that the only jump scare I think I really had was like when somebody drops their cell phone. Mm-hmm. They're looking down at something and then something's looking up at them. Yeah. It's doing a lot of that, It's a real good atmosphere on this, and I just thought,
it definitely did create a pretty cool atmosphere. Like I think how much you're gonna like it beyond that, that's just gonna be up to your personal taste. But I thought it was okay. I didn't hate the time with it. It told a story and it didn't overly stretch it out. I do just wish the end had a little bit more just like punch to it, My next one is going to be Blink Twice. This is a suspense horror film directed by first-time director Zoe Kravitz. And in this film, tech billionaire Slater King meets cocktail waitress Frida at his fundraising gala. He invites her to join him and his friends for a dream vacation on his private island. Wild nights soon blend into sun-soaked days, but when strange things start to happen, Frida must uncover the truth if she hopes to make it out alive. This cast is we got Naomi Aki as Frida. She had a small role in one of the Star Wars recent films. I think it was which one was the final one? Rise of the Skywalker.
Rise of the Skywalker.
That as a character, yeah.
Was she a pilot? I guess she was a pilot. She was a A-wing pilot.
She was the one that was riding that wild horse thing near the end with the really blown out hair. Like she had like a.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's supposed to be Lando's daughter. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Channing Tatum, Adria Arjona, Aaliyah Shawkat, Haley Joel Osment, Gina Davis, Simon Rex, and Christian Slater are also in this film. And dude,
Gina Davis was in this.
Yep. She plays our billionaire's assistant in this film, man. And and like I said, Christian Slater, Joel Osment, like I didn't expect them to be in this film because I think I watched the trailer, but I really didn't.
No, they're not in that at all. Yeah,
I got enough to see the premise. These girls are just going to hang out with this guy and this shady and things just happen to him. So that's the setup. But dude, this thing blew me away, man. Like it's a lot of twists. It's not like that kind of keep it going. They shot the hell out of this. It's well directed. The performances are great, man. Channing Tatum is perfect as this charming billionaire, but then also like Naomi Aki, she's great, and her friend Leah, they're great too. Is being on this island, and all of a sudden things just start like not adding up, man. And it's one of these ones, man. I think the less you know about it, the better. They definitely knocked it out the park with that trailer, and it was a thing. I didn't know what this was going to be. I didn't know that it could go either way, but I was surprised at how good this thing turned out, man. Zoe Kravitz, dude, if she keeps this up, I'm curious now to see what her next film could possibly look like, because she killed this dude. Like this thing was a really, fun, good time. There's a couple twists in there. I think ultimately the way the story wraps up, that's a little bit predictable, but it's not a lot new under the sun, man. I'm more of a ride guy than destination guy. Like if you can make the journey interesting, then all right, I'll ride with you to the destination. And I think they nailed this thing, man. This thing, like it's one that I definitely will probably go see again just to see, even though it's one of these films where I think the end and the twist is a big thing. It's like let's just say, what's the film with the crazy twist? The Kaiser Sose, Usual Suspects. That loses its potency for me after the end. I really don't visit that a lot, but this one I will revisit because the ride was that strong, and it's just so fun watching these things play out. And now that I've seen it, I can look for things that earlier now, peep the clues and stuff, man. But this is a really good time, man. It's probably one of the best ones I've seen this summer, dude, especially these past few months, man. They kicked ass with this thing, man. And like I said, I didn't expect it. I was like, all right, if at most I'm gonna enjoy it. It might be okay. Nah, this thing is great in my opinion, man. It's interesting because I saw a clip from what's his name, man? Kevin Bacon, and there's a clip of him. I guess he did a TikTok, and he's on the street, and he's like, "Man, go to the movies, people! I just saw Alien Romulus. I loved it. I saw Blink twice. I loved it. I was straight like, and I'm like, yeah, even Bacon gets it. He was right about this one, man. They did a great job with this, man. Yeah, go see it. See it when you get a chance, man.
Okay.
So my next one was also one that I have been seeing a lot of buzz about, and I was just in the mood to go to the movies. I've seen everything else. No, this is part of my double feature. I saw this first in the morning because I didn't know. It's one of the ones I had to go to AMC for, and I don't know how long it's going to be in the theater. So I want to see these things in the theater if I can. And after I saw this, I came back to Germantown, and then I saw The Crow. But this is going to be Strange Darling. This is a suspense horror film directed by J.T. Molnar. And in this film, nothing is what it seems when a twisted one-night stand spirals into a serial killer's vicious murder spree. The cast in this is Willa Fitzgerald, Kyle Gallner, Ed Bagley, Barbara Hershey, Stephen Michael Quezada, and Madison Beatty is in this film. Those are our main people. But it's really a film with mostly two characters for most of the time. Another interesting choice in this film is it's shot in chapters, and the chapters are out of order, a la Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
So this is a film that lets you know about it the better, dude. And like, I don't even want to get no more specific than that. All I'm going to say is this thing is one of the most best directed, best acted, and best films I've seen this year, man. Ribisi, what's his name? Giovanni Ribisi, I think is a cinematographer on this. We've known him as an actor in a lot of films. He kind of could play a snarky corporate type or asshole or jerk, kind of character a lot of times, but he was a cinematographer on this. And interestingly enough, this film was shot on 35 millimeter, so you get a lot of grain, and as a result, man, what I loved about this film, it has some interesting, fresh ideas, but it feels like something from the mid 80s, man. Like it has that vibe, like the aesthetic, the look of it, and I will say this is pretty much, I would say it's technically, it's a lot of, I said suspense horror, maybe a little bit of, slashing, warning. It is graphic, a lot of graphic violence in this thing, but this thing blew my mind, dude, for where it took me, with the story, and it's crazy, man. It's just a wild ride, dude. This thing is cool, man. You could tell this guy though definitely has a lot of film influences. I'm going to say there's some Tarantino in this. There's some original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All of those. Yeah, that's it. I can't do no more. If I do any more, it might give too many clues to how this thing goes. But it's also darkly humorous, man. That's what I forgot to mention about Blink Twice. That film also is dealing with heavy stuff, just like in Strange Darling, but I think there's enough dark humor sprinkled in at the right moment to ease the tension back, because as you're sitting there with your heart racing, like damn, this is intense, then boom, you gotta get a joke that comes in, and you just like, yo, let's ease off the gas a little bit, and then they go back in. But yeah, this is a really great film, man. This is definitely one I might add to the collection. When I get
what's happening here with that film is like it's only like showing at like 8 o'clock here right now, so it's kind of hard.
One of the things that's been interesting, like I'm on Twitter a lot, man. Like I encourage you, man, if you're a film people, man, that's where all the film people are, bro, including the creators. And they've been going hard in this. Like it's been doing pretty good per screen that they've got it at. So there's a push right now to get a wider release, and it might just do that, man. Because I don't know, I feel like this film, but see, it's tricky because I think the nature of the genre that it's in, the subject matter, I could easily see the Academy skipping over this for major awards that it would be deserving of, but it's hard to say, man. But I hope the buzz will get, you know, some of these distributors to give it a wider release, man. Because like I said, I had to go to AMC and I went there and I was like, man, this might not be in the theater next week. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. Like I said, it's limited releases, limited showings here. It's like an 8 o'clock showing at night here.
Yeah. But the word of mouth is really strong, which is why it popped up on my radar. So I went to see it. So hopefully that'll be enough to get a wider release. Maybe later on, maybe during Halloween or something, man, they'll bust it wide open and give it a wider run. Because I feel like this film would do great in October, man. You know?
Okay.
Definitely. But yeah, if you can track this down, man, it's worth the trip, man. You got to ride an hour. Dog, you gonna be coming out this joint buzzing, because I was, man, which made me mad that I saw The Crow right after. If I saw The Crow before, bro, I might have gave The Crow a kinder review. I was mad, yo, but after I was like, damn, I was riding such a good high, and then I come in here to these problems and this BS, you know. Yeah, man, but definitely, man, check that out, man. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that out the way. 1992 is a film that just came out. It's directed by Ariel Vreeman, and I feel like this film was filmed a long time ago, man, and it's just finally coming out. But in this film, Mercer is desperately trying to rebuild his life and his relationship with his son amid the turbulent Los Angeles riots of 1992. Across town, another father and son put their own strained relationship to the test as they plan a dangerous heist where Mercer works. As tension continued to rise in the city, both families reach their boiling points when they collide. Our cast in this film, we got Ray Liotta as our guy trying to pull the heist. We got Tyrese Gibson as Mercer, who works at this platinum plant.
Platinum?
Yeah, it's platinum. That's where he's working at, and that's the place that Ray Liotta is trying to rob. We also got Scott Eastwood, who plays Ray Liotta's son. And Dylan Arnold, who also is another of Liotta's sons. We also get Oleg Taktarov. Last time I seen him, I believe, was in the movie Predators. He was, I think, the Ukrainian guy or the guy with the heavy minigun. We also get Tosin Moron Rufola, who's also one of Ray Liotta's crew members. Christopher Emmanuel plays Tyrese Gibson's son in this film as well. And we get Ori Pfeffer, he's another crew member. So that's pretty much it, man. Most of these guys are crew members in this film. It takes place in like 2 locations, mostly at Tyrese's job, at Tyrese's house. It's crazy because they don't even have his the woman that plays his wife listed. She had no, that's another character's wife. She's not on here. But basically, man, honestly, this film, it was okay. Like it did enough job. I was entertained, enough of a job. I was entertained the whole time. I was paying attention, but it's not nothing special. You know what I'm saying? It's a run-of-the-mill heist film. I think it does get elevated a little bit by having the LA riots in the background. That's why it's called 1992. Honestly, that stuff is just surface level. It's just background, to be honest. Background noise, because there's no real commentary on that. There is one scene that felt a little like shoehorned in, you know what I'm saying, between like they get pulled over by the cops, you know, and there's that scene like in Boys in the Hood, you know what I'm saying, where they run into the black cop and he's being an asshole to them.
Okay.
So it's that kind of scene. I'm like, man, this is all right, man, get this out of here. But and honestly, it's crazy to see Ray Liotta here because I thought Cocaine Bear was going to be his last film, but it's kind of also sad that Cocaine Bear continues to be his last work of art, like his last opus, because I really did love that film, and it's crazy that that's the last good thing that he was in, because like this one, he's passable, he does a job, you know, he's believable as an asshole, because it's kind of interesting, like that I guess that kind of spices up a little bit. Him and his son kind of have different opinions on how to pull this job off, even though it's the son's idea, but he brings his dad in on it, and his dad is kind of a much meaner gangster than, you know, Eastwood's character is, so they butt heads over that, and it leads to situations. It's all predictable though. Like this is a Friday night rental in 1989.
Okay,
you know, you go home, you watch it, and it's like, all right, you know, whatever. It wasn't terrible. It did what it had to do.
Okay.
And you're gonna forget about it, because I'll never watch this again. You know, it did what it did. Like,
yeah, I know you. Like I said, I know you listed it, so I wasn't, you know.
Yeah, it's no reason for me to keep, you know, to watching this. It's not much there, but like I said, I think this film was made a long time ago, and maybe the distributor didn't know what to do with it. I know Tyrese said he didn't get a lot of money for it. He really did it because it happens in Watts, in his hometown. So that kind of stood out to him. So, and interesting enough, it's a film in the beginning. It says like Death Row Films. So I think maybe him and Snoop Dogg got together, and maybe Snoop, you know, put some money up to help this thing get finished and get distributed, you know, because now Death Row's owned by Snoop Dogg, and I think he's done a pretty good job of refreshing that brand and identity, and he's trying to, you know, put out new IPs under it, whether it's music or stepping into this film and documentary type TV type territory. But it's okay.
I think Murder Was the Case was like one of they first like featured or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then you had all kind of stuff to come after that, but I mean nothing really came after that. Maybe The Wash was The Wash.
I think The Wash might have been associated with them. That is a good dig, but I think after that, by then,
everything kind of was falling apart there. And
I know Lionsgate put that out, but I don't know who else is on the thing for that one. But it could be a thing where they put some money up, or maybe it was a thing with Dre and Snoop, because I think Dre and Snoop were gone by the time The Wash came out. They were done with Death Row. But yeah, I think that's it, man. We wrap this thing up. There's a lot of stuff for y'all to check out there, folks, man. Hit us up. Let us know what you think about any of these films if you check them out. And we'll be back next time. I know Beetlejuice is coming out, and I might check that out and might go see that Brandy movie too. Interestingly enough, that Brandy movie has a crazy cast on that thing, man. What's the name of that?
Front Room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm really waiting on that I think might actually be good? I keep seeing the trailer for that Halle Berry movie. What is it? with the kids? That looks kind of crazy, man. You know? So interestingly enough, this is directed by Sam and Max Eggers. So are they part of the Eggers, the other Eggers? The Witch Egger?
I don't know.
Yeah, so A24 teams up with Eggers Brothers directorial debut, The Front Room, and so it's both of them, dude. So we got hold up, let me look at that again. Yeah, this is the guy that did The Witch. He's co-directing with his brother Sam. It's Max and Sam Eggers, because Max did The Lighthouse and the other stuff.
Okay.
Hold up. Max, Sam, are there three brothers? Hold up, man. I gotta find out before we get out of here real quick. No, there's three brothers, dude. So there's Robert, who did The Witch.
Yeah, Robert Eggers. Yeah. Robert Eggers did
Max did The Lighthouse, and Sam.
No, Robert Eggers did all three.
Oh, I guess. Well, it's got them listed as film.
They might have worked on. They might have worked on the film, but
they were probably writers. They were probably helped them write though the other ones.
Okay, yeah, because he did The Lighthouse, The Witch, he did The Northman, and
suddenly the Front Room just got more interesting. Yeah, so that's got Brandy in it. Yeah, so far I don't see the other major names. Yeah, I'll check it out though. What was the other movie one of the Eggers did recently that we talked about on here?
The Northman.
No, there was.
And he's supposed to be making Nosferatu. That's his film at the end of this year.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, bet. All right, so yeah, we'll come back, man. We'll probably be talking about those. So let's get out of here. We're going to catch y'all next time. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you tell your friends about us. Leave comments on these videos, you know, when you see them and all of that. And hopefully we back soon. Catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm Cornelius Bros. You can find me on Facebook, Cornelius Bros, on Instagram, Cornelius Bros, on Twitter. It will always be Twitter. I'll dead name it forever. At Cornelius 1976, and on TikTok where I'll be watching videos at Cornelius 1976.
Yeah. All right, folks, we out of here. Peace. Boom. Yeah, man.